Welcome to Klepper's Corner. Today in weird news, July 25th, 2025. Welcome back to Klepper's Corner, the only news show that proudly dives into the shallow end of the news pool, where the water is warm, the stories are strange, and the lifeguard is a Walabe in a tiny vest. Yes, today we're not talking about war, climate collapse, or billionaires launching lawsuits from their space yachts. No, today is about Shelley the Tortoise's unexpected ice cream bender, a moose that's the laziest trail guide in New York, and one woman who broke her bond by doing the unthinkable, housing a secret chimp, which sounds like a euphemism, but sadly is not. Because folks, while the world burns, sometimes you just want to watch a metaphorical squirrel water ski across the flaming lake of society. And that's what we're here for. So grab a glittery scratch-off ticket and a tracking collar, because it's time for the weirdest stories of July 25th, 2025. Segment 1, Shelley the Tortoise's sweet escape to the ice cream parlor. Let's kick things off in Kenneford, England, where Shelley, a 20-year-old leopard tortoise, escaped her enclosure and went on the slowest crime spree since Mitch McConnell tried to do the cha-cha slide. Shelley disappeared from her owner's garden on July 9th, prompting a search that I imagine looked like a very intense game of Where's Waldo, but slower, much slower. 16 days later, she was found almost 3 miles away, just chilling outside an ice cream parlor like she was waiting for someone to hand her a Neapolitan cone and a copy of Teen Vogue. Let's pause there. 3 miles in 16 days. That's an average of what? 0.18 miles a day? That's not an escape. That's a lifestyle. The owner, Nick Phillips, said she wasn't even into her veggies anymore when she came back. Because once you go cookie dough swirl, you don't go back to kale. Honestly, same. And yes, she was outside a place called the Orange Elephant, because apparently in England, even the store names are on acid. But the best part? Locals celebrated her return on social media. There were hashtags, there were memes, and one particularly inspired local drew a chalk outline of her crime scene near the ice cream parlor. That is the kind of community engagement we need in this world. Not neighborhood watches, just neighborhood weirdos with too much time and sidewalk chalk. Segment 2, lottery luck. From husbands who forget things next, we go to Lyman, South Carolina, where a woman just won $500,000 thanks to her husband's incompetence. Or as I like to call it, marriage ROI. Apparently, she told her husband to buy lottery tickets. He forgot, and like every woman in America, she did it herself and did it better. She went to the 357 Ready Mart, picked out 3 tickets based purely on the principle of, ooh, shiny, and boom, $500,000. Now, I don't want to say this guy blew it, but let's just say he now gets a monthly allowance and sleeps in a guest room that used to be his office. She said she felt like Jed Clampett discovering oil. I love that reference. A modern woman winning scratch-offs by channeling a fictional 1960s hillbilly. That's America, baby. She plans to travel and retire early, and he plans to never forget another errand for the rest of his life. Also, can we talk about the ticket being called Money Madness Extra Play? That's not a scratch-off. That's a Vegas-themed midlife crisis. And somehow, it worked. Moral of the story? Don't rely on your partner to buy the tickets. Rely on glitter. Always the glitter. Segment 3, Chimp Crazy. Tanya Hadex's secret primate life. Let's move on to Camden County, Missouri, and a woman who's now in jail for housing a secret chimpanzee. Not a metaphor, not a code name, an actual chimpanzee. Tanya Hadex, a star of HBO's Chimp Crazy, was already banned by a federal court from owning chimps. Naturally, she decided the best move was to, you guessed it, own another chimp and pretend no one would notice. Because when you're dealing with endangered primates and felony charges, subtlety is key. She had the chimp since April, didn't register it, and didn't tell her pretrial officer about the raid that discovered it. That's like getting caught with a tiger and telling the cops, no, he's just a big emotional support cat. Now she's looking at 4 to 5 years in prison. PETA wants the harshest possible sentence. And I just want to know, who watches a documentary about your obsession with chimps, sees you get charged for lying about chimps, and then thinks, she's the one. She gets me. It's not just bizarre, it's the origin story of the worst superhero ever, the primate perjurer. Segment 4, Walabe on the lam, Belgium to France. Meanwhile, in Europe, a wallaby has just completed a better border crossing than most Americans can plan on a 3-day weekend. This little guy escaped from Belgium and was captured in France. No passport, no GPS collar, no itinerary, just vibes. There's not much detail, but I like to imagine this wallaby hitchhiked its way across like a marsupial Jason Bourne, running through wheat fields, dodging baguettes, and confusing every local who thought he was just a weird French dog. We've seen cows in drive-thrus, goats in churches, and now wallabies in the EU. This is the Weird Animal Olympics, and honestly, I'm rooting for the wallaby. Also, major props to French authorities for not eating it, because that would have been extra weird. Segment 5, Moose on the Trail, Newark's most stubborn local. And finally, let's go to Tupper Lake, New York, where a bull moose has decided to sit in the middle of a hiking trail and just never leave. For the entire summer, this one majestic jerk has blocked the same trail, causing the state to reroute all hikers. It's like he's running his own toll booth. You want to see the summit? That'll be one bag of trail mix and a Spotify playlist of soft jazz. No one knows why he's doing it. Scientists are baffled. One theory, he's protesting the rise in national park entry fees. Another theory, he's just kind of a dick. I say we let him stay. Rename the trail. Make it Moose Lane. Let him give guided tours. On your left, a very scared squirrel. On your right, where I peed yesterday. Nature's beautiful. Nature is majestic. Nature also doesn't care about your plans to Instagram that waterfall. Segment 6, Beyond the Headlines, the hidden genius of weird news. You know, when we laugh at these stories, the tortoise at the ice cream shop, the moose who's basically a park ranger with antlers, the wallaby border hopper, we're not just indulging in weirdness, we're revealing something profound about ourselves. We love weird news because it makes the world feel like a cosmic improv show with no script and a lot of bananas. And sometimes, literally, there are bananas, especially if Tanya Hadex is involved. But dig a little deeper and you'll find a pattern. These stories all orbit around animals defying human expectations. Shelley refused to be boxed in, literally. The moose stopped hikers like he was TSA for squirrels. And that chimp, he wasn't just hidden. He was symbolic of the deep, complicated relationship between humans and our wild side. And also symbolic of a woman who refuses to read her court orders. There's something magical about that. Not the court orders, the animals, the chaos, the randomness. It reminds us that despite our apps and schedules and smartwatches that tell us when to breathe, there's a whole parallel universe operating on vibes and fur and apparently glittery scratch-off tickets. The woman who won $500,000 didn't just hit the jackpot. She won the cosmic lottery of chaos. Her husband's forgetfulness rewrote their financial destiny. I mean, I forget to take my vitamins and end up with a Charlie horse. She forgets a lottery ticket and retires. This is the universe telling us something. Lighten up, laugh. You might step in moose poop, but you could also step into money. Or a tortoise could show up to your date and eat your dessert. It's weird, and that's the point. Segment 7, When Weird Gets Serious, the Hadex Principle. Let's take one last spin around the Tanya Hadex situation. On its face, it's about one woman who refuses over and over again to stop collecting chimpanzees like Beanie Babies. But there's something deeper. This is what happens when a real legal system meets real delusion, and the legal system loses. She had a 2020 court order, violated bond, owned a chimp for months, and even failed to notify her pretrial officer about the search. You know how many levels of bad idea that is? That's not just a red flag, that's the entire Soviet Union. PETA wants her to get the max sentence. And for once, PETA and I are in agreement. You know it's bad when PETA goes full Judge Judy on you. But what this exposes is something more serious. The way we allow eccentricity when it's entertaining to run unchecked. She was on an HBO documentary. She was on national news. She's a celebrity in the I did something weird and mildly illegal, let me trend category. Now, let's not pretend it's only Hadex. We've seen this before. People with animals they shouldn't have. Remember Tiger King? We turned that into quarantine comfort food. Now we've got Chimp Queen, and nobody's learned a thing. There's something broken in how we respond to eccentricity. We reward it, we amplify it, and then act surprised when the story ends with felonies and a surprise orangutan in a bathtub. Segment 8, the animal anarchy that connects us all. Think about the animals today, not just as plot devices, as characters. Shelley, the slow-speed adventurer, the Walabe, international fugitive, the moose, mysterious Zen master of trail obstruction, the chimp, the unfortunate pawn in a woman's ego trip. It's always animals and weird news. Why? Because they're unpredictable, unashamed, and unburdened by what we call reason. They don't care about social media or borders or court orders. They just want to do moose things, or tortoise things, or chimp things, even if those things happen to break 6 laws and end up on HBO. And there's something freeing in that. Watching creatures go rogue, because deep down, we're all a little tired of the rules. We want to be like Shelley and crawl 3 miles for ice cream. Or like the moose who says, you know what? This is my trail now. Find another one. These animals aren't just weird, they're aspirational. Final segment, embrace the madness, a call to weirdness. So what did we learn today, class? If your tortoise runs away, check the dessert aisle. If your husband forgets to do something, double down. He might just gift you a retirement plan. If you're already banned from owning chimps, maybe don't audition for Chimp Crazy 2 Electric Boogaloo. If a wallaby crosses an international border, give him a travel blog. And if a moose blocks your trail, maybe take the hint and go home. Weird news isn't just clickbait. It's a celebration of everything we can't control. The unexplainable, the beautifully bizarre, the stuff that makes you say, wait, what? And then laugh until you spit your coffee. So let's keep it weird, people. Not in a Tanya Hadex felony way, in a Shelley the Tortoise gets ice cream way, in a life is random, let's enjoy it kind of way. Because while the world keeps churning out crises, it's the moose blocking traffic and the glitter ticket wins that remind us we're still part of a universe that occasionally runs on joy, chaos, and a very confused marsupial. Thanks for tuning in to Klepper's Corner. I've been your host, bringing you the wildest, weirdest, and most wonderfully unhinged stories the human-animal collaboration could create. Until next time, stay strange, stay skeptical, and for the love of Shelley, reinforce your tortoise enclosures.